asking who the better one of us is a pretty mean question because it's hard to tell. Like, public opinion for most of our careers was actually that I was the better player until recently. Like, in a couple of years, most people just know me as Robin's brother. So, like, these days they would undoubtedly say that Robin's the better one. I mean, it's really hard to judge, but I for my part was always convinced that I would see the day where he wins Worlds. And I did manage to see it. It's probably just a coincidence. But yeah, it's a weird thing to think that I've, like, ever since I was a kid, knew that this was going to happen, and it happened. So I guess I would give it to Robin to be the better player, just because he has the results to prove it. I mean, I have a few among the lines as well. Rivalries are a pretty interesting part of the TCG as well. For me, of course, I have my brother, but I don't think it was like a rivalry with him. I was always, like, very proud and glad to see when he was doing well, and, like, watching his games has me on the edge of my seat more than ever sitting there myself. Like, I can sit there in top 4 of an international championships, like, completely calm and being like, well, I know this game, whatever happens, happens, right? Maybe I get unlucky, well, that's how it's supposed to be, whatever. But if I watch my brother play in, like, top 8 of an internationals or of worlds or whatever, then I'm sitting at the edge of my seat and being like, no, please don't mess this up. And with every card, I'm like, no, this is the wrong one, do ya? And then he's like, And I'm like, yes, doing the right play after all. But yeah, so with him, it's not really a rivalry. It's more like encouraging each other. But of course, rivalries are also pretty big part of it, but I would say it comes more from, like, local events and the players you know. So I come from a pretty dense area of very good players. Like, just in my city and the neighbor cities, we have multiple international champion winners, multiple high regional winners and whatnot. A world champion, of course, as well. So ever since I was, like, in seniors, a lot of very talented players were around whom I always tried to best. So people like David Hofmann, who people probably don't know these days anymore. Maybe Nico Alabas, who won a international pretty recently. Players like Mark Lutz and plenty of great players in the area. So, like, having a healthy local scene with great players that really spurs you on to, like, do better next event and outperform them. If you're going to an event and would like some advice, for example, from me, then I would recommend you, and this is quite the obvious thing, to never complain about luck, because it's not gonna help you. Like, of course, we don't play chess. You can't go into an event expecting to win. Actually, no one can. Maybe Todd, like, if he plays a local league cup with, like, 6 players and half of them are, like, his brother, his mother, and who knows who, then he can expect to win. But other than that, if you walk into an event, you never know what's gonna happen. You are basically just trying to maximize your odds. And this is why I would recommend to everyone to not look at a single event and be like, this is the one I need to win. But instead, try to think about where you are as a player, what's gonna help you, how you can improve over the line, and try to pick a deck that challenges you, where you can learn things and then analyze your mistakes, do better next time, and understand why you made mistakes, why you picked the wrong deck, and always try to improve from event to event, so that, like, a season can be like a journey where you, like, learn new things and improve from event to event. I think, like, this is, like, really the important thing, to always focus on what you can do better, on what you did wrong, and on what's to come next, instead of being like, all in at this event, I'm gonna play, like, my deck that has some good matchups, some bad ones, and I'm just gonna hope that I hit enough of the good ones to get through. I hope you enjoy the show, and maybe something spicy pops up here and there. And yeah, I'll be looking for you, Todd, Robin, and I hope I can outperform you this time.